This is episode number 200 of the Homeowners Show.
200!
Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett. Here with me is Craig Williams.
It's 200, y'all.
200.
Hello. Welcome. Dude, we've done this 200 times.
200 times. And I venture to guess that somebody is watching this right now.
Hopefully.
Or listening.
You know what?
We did it. Congratulations, us. We did it.
Man.
Somehow.
That's insane.
Who, literally, did you, honestly, if you're
No.
being 100%
Whatever you're about to say, no. I didn't think we could do it. No.
No, I mean, okay. Here's first question of the night.
Uh-huh.
How many episodes did you legitimately think we would get through?
Maybe 50.
50?
Yeah.
I was less than that.
I was optimistic. I was optimistically thinking 50.
Yeah, and I would have loved if you started off the first time going, okay, 50. I put up because we had a list. We had a list, and I think the list was probably 30.
Yeah, and it was about
long.
Yeah, it was about 30 topics.
Yeah, something like that. And so, like, I feel like we kind of had some sort of an idea of what we were going to do. But do you remember how the first episode, like, how it happened?
In my living room?
Well, yeah, it was definitely in your living room. But, like, we had been talking about it for, what, like 2 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
and I remember...
A lot of planning.
Like, I remember we were having lunch over Deacon Baldy's.
Uh-huh.
And you were like, hey, man, I've got this crazy idea. I've been thinking about doing a podcast. And I'd been listening to podcasts for a little while.
Right. And
I was like, really? What on it? So anyway, long story short, you were like, I'm thinking about doing this. And I was like, I'll do it with you.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, sure, let's do it. And then, so we brainstormed for a week, maybe two.
Uh-huh.
And I remember you said, well, we need to record an episode then. And I was like, sure, we need to probably figure out what we're going to do for that. And you said, let's do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, now? And you were like, yeah, tonight. I was like, what? About what? And you're like, I don't know. Just come over and we'll do it.
That sounds like me.
And it does. What's funny is when I was talking to your mom the other day,
uh-huh.
and I said something to her about this, and she goes, that sounds just like Craig. And I was like, yeah, you just like do it. Just jump in, man. What's the worst that could happen, right?
Yeah. People like boo you off the stage.
Yeah,
could be the greatest moment of your life.
Like no one's listening.
Yeah.
So no one knows we exist. So what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. All that makes me think of is the most famous moment in Bill Burr's career. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Is when he literally got booed for a half hour.
Yeah.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah. And
he just told everyone in the audience to go pound sand.
Yeah.
In much coarser terms.
Yeah.
He would announce like on the 5-minute mark, I got 25 minutes left.
Yep.
You guys enjoying this?
Burr.
That's right. That was what it was. So if that's the worst that can happen and you can still like thrive from there,
yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has.
Oh yeah. He's been fine.
We've done okay.
We've done fine. We've done fine. Well, I mean, literally.
So here's how the stars have aligned.
Okay.
I don't know if you were aware, but a few days ago, CERN turned on the Hadron Collider again.
Oh, okay.
So the last time that this happened, Trump got elected.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like they turned on the collider, and then it was like a few days later, Trump got elected president.
Okay. So obviously something with the Homeowner Show is good's going to happen.
Well...
Is that where you're going?
Well, so stuff has happened, right?
Okay.
So
yeah, it has.
The CERN turned on the collider, and that was like 3 days ago.
Sure.
And then yesterday, what are they called? The Georgia Guidestones. Do you know what
I have no idea what that is.
Someone destroyed the Georgia Guidestones.
Is this like the like the things in like, you know what I'm talking about?
No idea. The Georgia Guidestones, apparently they were put up in like the early 80s by like really wealthy, like no one knows exactly who did it, but like really wealthy people paid to have the Georgia Guidestones installed somewhere.
What are they?
They are humanity's guide for after it all falls apart.
Oh, okay.
And so like it's weird stuff, man. Like if you don't know about it, look it up.
Okay.
Like one of the things, like one of the tenets on the Georgia Guidestones was like keep human population at 500 million at a maximum. So like basically promoting genocide.
Yeah. I mean, because that we're nowhere near that.
We have far exceeded that, and everybody's getting fed just fine.
Yeah.
So, which a lot of people don't know this, man. Like this is actually something that like Jacques Cousteau was a big proponent of.
Okay.
Like he was
I had no idea.
I remember watching an interview with him one time, and he was like, "We need to eliminate half the world's population tomorrow."
Okay.
And I was like, "That is one crazy French dude."
That's no doubt. I'm out.
Yeah. So anyway,
there's no way I survived that.
Right. I'm out.
Yeah, I get cut.
So Collider gets turned on.
Yeah.
Somebody blows up the Georgia Guidestones. Like
they're gone.
Well, so apparently it wasn't like a very strategic strike on the Georgia Guidestones, but it was enough that they become structurally unsound, that the state or whoever the park was that they were part of came in and just demoed the rest of them.
Oh.
And I think probably they were just waiting with bated breath because it was like, we need to get this creepy thing the hell out of here. Like I'm not kidding. Like it is creepy. Like I don't even know how long it lasted, like for almost 40 years.
That's crazy
at this point. Like, and it's like, how did you let that just sit there?
Right.
I mean, we're destroying other monuments all over the place. Let's get rid of that creepy thing.
Right.
So anyway, so that happened, and now we're doing our 200th episode.
There you go.
So I mean, the crazy stuff in the world is happening.
Obviously, this all is intermingled.
This is the culmination.
Yeah, it all goes together.
Yeah. So there you go.
I believe it.
So it's meant to be.
It is meant to be. So we're gonna just kind of we got some stuff we want to talk about tonight. We don't have a guest tonight. We just kind of wanted to kind of celebrate a little bit, kind of just talk about some stuff that has happened, some stuff that is interesting to us, I guess. Yeah, I mean, first of all, before we get any further, I feel the need to say thank you to people. Because here's the thing.
I thought that was coming to me.
No, I'm not thanking you for anything.
That's fair.
Because here's the thing. Like, if I promise you guys, if nobody listened to this, then we would have no excuse to tell our wives that we're going to sit out in the studio and talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Except ourselves. So really, that's the only reason we do this.
Yeah,
to hang out with
each other. Thank you to everyone that continues to tune in week after week.
Exactly.
And it's enough of you that we want to keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we've had tens of thousands of downloads.
More than that.
I know. I'm just saying. It's not tens.
It's definitely not tens
or hundreds. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And so it's been really, really good. So, I don't know, man. Where do you want to start tonight?
I mean, we can. You want to just travel down? I mean, have you picked out some memories that are pretty significant to you?
To me, yeah.
Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Probably the one episode that was.
I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You have 5?
I have 5.
Okay. Well, I don't know that I have that many. But I've got some that I feel are very significant, and some of them are going to be probably similar to you. But one of the ones that to me was just so very, I was nervous to go into this episode.
Okay.
Only because I was like, we're going to screw this up somehow. Like, this is not going to go well, and I want this to go well. And it was the episode with Unlocking the Magic.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big one for me.
That was a big one.
Because you and I are kind of...
They were dumb for saying yes to us.
They were. Like, afterwards, they regretted their decision.
They must have been drinking that night.
They don't even drink. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's a big deal to them. They're like, we don't drink. But like...
Caught them on an off night.
Apparently. But I think it was one of those deals that was cool for me because it's both of us being big Disney fans, although recently crazy Disney stuff. But that being said, both being big Disney fans, and they do a Disney podcast that both of us listen to.
Yep.
Been listening to them for years. and they're very successful at their podcast. And so whenever we asked them to come on our show and they said yes, I was like, holy cow, we're going to have Connie and Bruce on our show?
It was really, they were super, super nice.
They were so nice.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know. Like, it was a big enough deal that we didn't, at the time, remember, we were still
They've actually tuned into the live stream a couple times.
Oh, there you go. I did not know that. Well, so we were still working out of your living room at the time. And the only reason I know that is because we didn't believe your Wi-Fi was good enough at the time. So we actually
that's right. We changed locations
to another location that we thought the Wi-Fi would be better. But you remember what I did?
What'd you do?
I forgot the microphone.
Oh, that's right. I had to go steal microphones from somebody that night, didn't I?
Yeah, we searched the facility we were in.
Yeah,
we went around searching.
We found some stuff.
We scoured the facility that we were in for some stuff because you were literally like, Kevin, I need you to stop by the studio, which was your living room, and pick up the microphones and stuff. I was like, sure, no problem, and I completely forgot, and so. But we were on a schedule. Yeah. Like they had a time schedule they could do it. And
it was a pretty small window.
It was a small window. And in fact, we had to end before we were ready, I think, before I was ready. And because they had some stuff to do. And it was like one of those deals where I was like, this is an episode that I'm really excited about. And then I forgot the microphones, like of all the things that I forgot. And so it literally, like, it was a crap show whenever it started. Cause we're like, hey guys, we don't have all the,
well, not only that, like, I mean, like when you're like, and it was pretty early on with the show.
It was. Yeah. We had not been, episode like 30 maybe.
Yeah.
It was
and
early.
So like one of the things that we tried to do with them is we didn't let them know that we do video. Yeah. And so we tried to get on video with them, and he was like, hey, we're not doing video.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
We didn't tell them.
Right.
And so like he's like, he's not going to do it.
Right.
And it wasn't their fault. I mean, it was our fault.
Sure.
We didn't know to be like, hey, we're going to like to let people know like, hey, we're going to do video.
Right.
Like, no. And now we've learned podcast manners.
Oh, hopefully. But it was, I don't know. That was a really great podcast, and I was really, really excited about that one. So that's a big one for me.
No, that was a good one.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's not on your list, though.
No, it wasn't on my list.
Good.
No. Good. Like one of the I mean, the earliest one I could go back to, I think, was episode 61. And
you got numbers on yours. I don't have numbers on mine.
Yeah, how dare you?
Okay, I'll figure it
out. How are people going to go back and listen?
They're not.
I'm fine with exposing my shame. No, episode 61, I forget what was going on, but you couldn't be here.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had asked Haley to guest host with me, and it was with Mel.
Right. I remember that.
And what was cool about that, one, it was just a different way to do the show. We'd never done the show like that before. We'd never had a guest host.
Right.
And Haley just like jumped in with both feet and just killed it. Mm-hmm. And Mel was a killer guest. Mm-hmm. But what was really neat is like they've stayed friends.
Oh yeah.
To this day.
Right. They still talk
because of that interview.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it when people are connected because of the show. Yeah. Like like when people reach out to us and like, oh, I called such and such because I heard about it on their show, or people that have been on the show be like, hey, so and so just called me. They said they heard me on the show, and it's like, yeah, that's the whole reason like we wanted to have you on, is because like you're great at what you do, and we want to make sure that people know about you.
That's right.
But that was different because it was like a friendship.
Right. That was cool.
And that we've stayed friends with them too.
Right.
I mean, I think Haley's been on the show like twice since then.
Oh.
And she was on the show once before then.
Yeah, I think she's been on the show 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Mel's been on twice.
Sure.
And so just like, one, great guests.
Yep.
2, like just cool that was a connection that was made.
Yeah.
And I think part of it was that I think Mel's son was living in, I think she was in Portland at the time.
Yeah, and they've actually met.
Right.
Like, we haven't even met Haley.
I know. Even though she's promised.
She's been to Austin.
I know.
And
she said she's coming.
We'll find out. We'll see. But no, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I will say I was close. It was episode 34.
Episode 34. Okay. Yeah.
That's 30. Yeah. So
no, I remember thinking, it's like, man, we've only done like 30 of these. Like, why are they agreeing to come on our show?
No,
because they've been doing it for a while, and they're still doing it, and they're very successful at it.
Oh yeah, they really, really are. So I'll tell you the other thing so were you done with yours, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is something that is really kind of tangential a little bit. Okay. Is that I remember that we were so kind of dumb with what we didn't know. Uh-huh. And we started off every episode was titled "That Show That
the time that
yeah. Kind of like the Friends stuff.
The Friends stuff. Yeah.
We really went off of that model. We're going to be like
for a long time.
The Friends were the one with this, the one about that, or whatever. So we did the show that, and we did that for a long time.
Yeah.
Until we realized that does not really help rankings at all, at all. And so I think it's pretty hilarious. And if you go back and look, if you're like listening to this, you start going back and looking. At some point, it just changed. And we just were like, okay, let's not do that anymore. And so I think it's the things that
it should have been the episode where we got smarter.
Yeah, that's so true. And like
it took us like 90 episodes.
Oh, but we were well into like multiple years at that point already. And so I think that it's funny, like to see.
I think we'd even talked about it a couple of times, but it was like, man, we've been doing this for like a long time. Yeah. And like, we're not doing bad, but like, should we change?
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think that, that was an interesting thing is we've learned so much along the way about what to do, what not to do, and how to do things better and all of that. That's just that's like a little small thing that made a big impact though.
Yeah. Well, and like, I think, I mean, one of the interesting things for me has been how many podcasts this podcast has helped launch. Mm-hmm. There's been a bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, and not all of them have lasted.
No.
But there's been a bunch of podcasts started because either they came on the show or they heard this show and they were like, they knew you or I, and they're like, how are you guys doing that? Like, how does that work? And is that helpful for you? Like, how is that helpful for you? And all this kind of stuff. And for the most part, like if you reach out to us and talk to us about like, hey, I'm interested in doing this. How do you guys do it? What have your successes? What have been your pitfalls? Like, I'm an open book.
We'll tell you.
Yeah. It's not, I mean, yeah. And like there's even podcasts that have not been out as long as ours that are doing better than ours.
Sure.
And great.
Yeah. Glad you are.
I love it.
Yeah. And we knew whenever we started this that we were in a pretty tight niche.
Oh yeah.
But that was actually kind of the point.
Yeah.
Is like we're trying to fit something that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
And so because of that, we're in a lane that a lot of people don't know about.
Honestly, we're creating a lane.
Yeah.
There's nobody doing stuff like what we're doing. I mean, like Eric G is the closest thing to what we're doing. But like no one has really tried to explore home ownership. Everyone tries to do like this cutesy DIY or organization, it's not to diss on them at all, but like because they have their space and they're doing great and they're killing it. No one talks about home ownership like we talk about home ownership. No. It just doesn't. I mean, like there's on a broad scale. There's no one. There are some regional guys doing it.
Yeah.
And most of them are very specific to the areas that they live in. And most of those guys are like contractors who are there. And again, it's not a critique, but they're using the podcast in order to generate business for themselves. Right. You and I are just not interested in that.
No, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
No.
Like we're just two dudes who are super curious that love talking to people about their businesses and their skill sets and reviewing products.
I would bet that people that listen to the show regularly have guessed what you do.
Probably.
But we've not overtly talked about it.
No. I think we did like one episode where it became kind of obvious.
Yeah.
But like I've never mentioned the name of my business ever.
But I bet a lot of people would.
I think guests have mentioned the name of my business.
Sure. Yeah, I think maybe. Yeah.
I mean, if you've been paying attention really close, you might have caught it.
Yeah. But I would venture to guess that people don't know what I do. Would you agree?
I would say that's probably true.
I mean, maybe you may have gotten some clues, like the type of thing that I do, but you probably don't know what I do.
Yeah, that might actually be kind of fun for like people to like write in, like, hey, what do you think Kevin actually does?
Yeah, all right.
Just to see if they know.
Put it in the chat.
Now, if you know Kevin, you can't answer.
Right, Ed. No, that's true. If you know what I do, because a lot of people that listen to this know me.
Right.
Or guess, and they ask, and I tell them because they ask.
I guess they could Facebook stalk
but
you.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's true. Yeah, because does say on there.
You could figure the same thing out with me. I mean, like, it's not like I'm hiding what I do.
No, but that's not the point. That's not the point.
Right.
Like that we're not here for self promotion.
And the reason I think part of the reason we're bringing this up is because so many people ask us, like, well, how is that benefiting your business?
Right.
And it's like, that's not the point.
Yeah, and I think that in many ways it could be the point.
It could.
And honestly, financially, it probably should be the point. But but at the same time, it's like that's not we're here. We literally are here because we want to help homeowners own their home better.
Yeah,
like that's the whole point.
Yeah,
it's the whole point. So I will say this: my wife told me the other day, she was like, "You need a new homeowner shirt." I was like, "Yeah," and she goes, "It's starting to look bad.
It's on Amazon, Bubba."
I know. All right, your turn.
Oh yeah. So let's see. One of the other ones that and this was really more like a moment, but when we had Michelle on, who was the deaf realtor.
Oh yeah.
And we had that whole conversation about deaf softball.
Oh my goodness. Oh. That was one of the most hilarious things that we've ever done. That's ever happened.
And she's just a genuinely funny person.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yes.
And just an absolute gem of a person.
Yes.
I loved having her on.
Sure.
It's just such a unique topic.
Yeah.
For us to explore and be like, okay, like I have no idea, but like, what is it that the hearing impaired community needs out of their home?
Yeah.
Like
we didn't know.
Dude, and she spent a bunch of money on that episode making sure that the closed captions were accurate.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sent her the whole show, and she spent money to get it transcribed.
Yeah. So
that it was right. It's smart.
And because she wanted to share it with the hearing impaired community.
Yeah.
And make sure that they were able to like understand everything that we talked about.
Right.
She was awesome.
Yeah. No, she was great.
Which, I mean, and so like, here's we'll play the Kevin Bacon game a little bit with her. The whole reason we had her on the show is because she was good buddies with Tanya.
You're right.
Who, one of my favorite moments was when we asked Tanya, what was the worst thing you ever had to clean?
Oh, yeah.
Which it's up as a clip on our YouTube page. It's one of our best videos.
Yeah.
And she talked about walking into someone's bedroom and there was a swing hanging from the ceiling that they'd forgotten to take down.
Right.
And and that she was still friends with that person.
Yeah. That's good. That's good stuff.
So, and it was like, yeah, you probably want to keep that person as a friend so that she don't tell your secrets.
We've definitely had some funny moments. And honestly, some of the funniest moments listeners don't even understand. Like you and I.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We just know each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's been some funny stuff for sure.
I'll tell you what. We don't care if y'all enjoy it. We're here for us.
If they haven't figured that out yet, after 200 episodes, I don't know. Like our wives know. Our wives know. Okay.
So Michelle was episode 98.
Okay.
And then the episode with the moment with the swing. That was episode 93.
93.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. It was a long time ago. Well, I'm going to go back even further than that. I'm going to go to episode 23.
All right.
This was the episode where I was driving to your house, and I called and I was like, "Hey, I'm running just a couple of minutes late, but I'm going to be there." And you're like, "You're going to have to go out to the studio by yourself because I got a stomach bug."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can't. Like, you don't want me out there." And I was like, "But."
And this was like one of the very first episodes in the studio.
It was
like when we had moved out of the living room.
Yes, it was. It was episode 23. And to date, it is still our most listened to episode. It's got more downloads than anything. Of course, it was episode 23, so we will give it that. I mean, it's had more time. But it was easily our number one podcast at that time.
Right.
And it was on home organization. It was with the Picture Design Group.
Picture Design Group, yeah.
And which, by the way, we most people know we bought a home recently.
Yeah.
And she came over and is doing...
Was it Courtney?
Kristen.
Oh, Kristen. Okay.
And she came over and she's doing 3 of our closets.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And so I was like, who else are we going to call? Nobody. I'm calling her, right? And but I remember I was like, I've got to do this by myself. Like, I'm a confident person.
Sure.
But like when it comes to this, I was like, Craig does the audio. Like I don't do the audio. Well, we weren't even doing video at the time.
Right.
We weren't doing a video at all.
I thought we got video of that one.
We may have, because I was the one doing it. Like I'm the one that does the video.
It's for some reason I think I remember there being a video, but
we were doing amateur video at that time. We were not doing it the way we're currently doing it. But
dude, I don't even want to explain to people how we were doing video before.
It was a lot of work. I'll tell you that. But that was one of those episodes where I was like, here we go.
Yeah.
And the thing is, at that point, I think we were doing episodes that were like, 45 minutes, that kind of thing. Well, that one went on for like hour and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a long episode. It was really, really well received. And I took a lot of credit because it was the best one that you weren't on.
I'll take credit for not being there.
That's right. Anyway, I just remember that being a very interesting, and one of those deals was like, look, this episode, this whole podcast thing does not rely on you. It does not rely on me. We're in this together.
Yeah.
It really requires both of us, because there have been multiple times whenever I've been out of town and you've done it by yourself.
Honestly, we need like a third person just to like.
Oh yeah.
We've gotten pretty good at doing most of the things ourselves, but like
it would be better if
we're
we
kind
had
of growing to the point where like we almost need like a third person in the room to kind of like produce and
If I did, I'm sitting here doing all the video work right now, even, and if I didn't have to do that, I could focus a little bit better, probably. But it's fine.
It is what it is.
I'm used to it at this point. Really, it's kind of second.
Yeah. What would you do with yourself?
I would probably be bored. I don't know. All right, your turn.
All right. So one of the other ones that was, I think for us was, and I assume this is true for both of us, and but like episode 97, was the first time I think we had Eric G on.
Oh yeah. Man, he's been huge.
He's been great for us.
He's been a great friend.
And like I think just today they announced that like they're like the number one like podcast in Canada for their category.
Amazing.
Yeah. Ever since Caroline came on, which also was a great guest.
Sure.
But like the first time we had Eric G on, and then he told the story of that lady trying to make a pallet pool.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh. I about lost it.
Oh my goodness. And the thing is, like, that guy has such a great speaking voice.
He's a good storyteller,
he's
man.
A great storyteller on top of that. Like, he's so fun and interesting to listen to. If you're looking for another podcast on Homeowners Show,
Around the House.
Around the House with Eric G and Caroline B. It's so good. So very good. Go check it out.
Yeah. Great show. But like and he's been on the show a few times now.
Yeah.
And we've done some other stuff with him outside of the show.
Mm-hmm.
He's a huge supporter of what we do.
Yeah.
Always like and his show's bigger than ours. Like,
oh yeah, quite a bit.
And but is encouraging and supportive. And we love that he's a good friend of the show.
Yeah.
So and like he and I kind of message back and forth from time to time, and just talking stats and. Like, how's your show going? How's what's going? And this is it's his full-time gig.
Yeah.
And he kills it.
Yeah.
He's really good at it.
I can't imagine doing it full time. But he's doing great.
Yeah.
So, all right,
what you got?
My next one, and this person's been on our podcast now twice.
Okay.
And if you would have told me that we would have had this type of episode on our show once, I would have been like,
I think I know which one you're talking about.
But then we had it on twice. And it's definitely Christina Tamez with birthing.
Yeah.
Right. And talking about like natural home birth and not just that, but like just having a doula. She's a doula. And all of the stuff with midwifery. Like, I'm learning terms here that I never know. Yeah. How to, and then I'm like, people do what with the what?
The placenta.
The placenta. They like eat it. How?
I wanted to throw up.
I did too. I was like, this is, and she was like, no, it's like a really good thing because it's got all these vitamins. And I'm like, I don't know.
No, I'm out.
I don't want to know. But like, I know so much that I didn't know before. And I think that like, that's one of the things I love about this podcast is whether or not I am intelligent about anything, doesn't matter. I have learned a ton about services that I didn't know existed. Like we talked to your relative JC about leak detection. I just thought a plumber did that. We've learned a lot about like a doula. I didn't know anything about doulas. I didn't know anything about midwives. I thought that was like an ancient thing. I didn't know that was still
We've learned about AI on the show.
Yeah, in fact, that was actually going to be one of mine. So we'll just go ahead and talk about it real quick. It's like we talked to David Sellinger, and that guy, I was a little bit starstruck talking with him because and dude was so chill, and so cool. But this guy's worked for Jeff Bezos, and he's
apparently gotten like a kerfuffle with the Facebook guy over there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like he's Redfin and all this kind of stuff, and now he's talking to us about AI home security, which, to be quite honest, I'm like, I still want that.
Yeah. I've explained it to some people on a couple of different occasions. I mean, just based off our conversation with him, and people are like, you can do that? And I'm like, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah. And like stuff like that I'm just like, how is that possible that we learn about? And we now have some relationship with people that were really, really, really good. Yeah. And I'm very thankful. And you and I have benefited a lot from these services that we talk about. Like, these are the people that we talk to on the show. We use their services. Like,
oh yeah, that's honestly how we meet a lot of our guests. We end up like we've either hired them.
That's right.
Or we've worked with someone who has, and so then we end up like, well, that was really cool. We should have them on the show.
Yeah, like Aaron Bernazel, he just painted our kitchen for us.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. Did an unbelievably great job. And
like you and I both just referred him to somebody.
Yeah,
and like, dude is booked out for like the next 3 months.
I know.
And I was actually talking to his wife, and she was like, I really appreciate the referral, but like, she just wasn't really willing to wait that long.
Sure.
I was like, I get it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But like, if you want the best,
use him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we are using and like I said, I'm using Kristen to do home organization for me. And
so did you call in some favors to get the kitchen painting done? Is that what happened there?
No. I waited just like everybody else did.
No one believes you. No one believes you.
I won't say that we haven't gotten favors. I mean, because like even little things like we've met realtors, and we've met mortgage lenders, and we've met all kinds of people that honestly are resources.
Yeah.
And like that's part of the whole deal here is like, we want to give you guys resources.
Yeah. Well, and like I think it's another thing that's important to mention is like, while we may have favorite moments on the show, some of our best relationships are not like necessarily like our favorite moments on the show.
Sure.
But like, we have really strong relationships with a lot of the people that either got created because of the show, or we're an aspect of our personal lives that flowed over into the show.
Right.
And so like most of the people that we have on, like if we're on remote location, like Haley and Eric being the exception to that rule, if they're on remote, then we probably don't know them that well.
Right.
But if they're in studio, we've probably spent a good amount of time with them and trust them. There have been a few exceptions to that where like people that we've had on the show are no longer in business and or have just fallen off the face of the earth.
Yep. I don't know who you're talking about.
I mean, there's been some of that for sure. Like we're not batting 1,000 over here.
No.
But like for the most part, people that we have on the show, we still have good relationships with, and and part of that is because we've done business with them.
And so I think that what's interesting is some of those people that haven't been in the studio, how they've found us.
Yeah.
And like how they've contacted us, say, we want to be on your show.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It is fun.
Like, I mean, I think about the sleep expert we talked to.
Oh, Molly?
Molly was awesome.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
I think we actually owe her another episode.
Dude, that was another one of those.
That was a nightmare.
We did that.
She wasn't a nightmare. She was lovely.
Yeah.
We were a nightmare.
Right. And that was another one of those that we did at another location. Also messed it up royally.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Yeah? What'd you do?
It was again. That was again with microphones.
Is it with the microphones again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just there's always something, but stuff like that. That I'm like, wow, this was.
We really need to get like a button on this thing that is the mom from Home Alone. Kevin. Every time, Kevin.
There's so many.
There's not one of those for Craig.
But there's so many uses for it. All right, I think I took like 3 just now, so it's your turn.
One of the ones that stood out in my brain, and it was just because it was funny, was the fanny pack conversation that we had with Mason Miller. I don't know how you can have a 10-minute conversation about fanny packs.
We did.
But it was on episode 101. So it was like we had just celebrated our 100th episode, and we had Mason on to talk about credit repair. Which, I think if people listen to that, like Homeowners Show, credit report, why are you talking about that?
Right.
Because credit has to do with buying a home.
A lot of it, yeah.
Or really making any major purchases for your home. So, like, you need to have good credit in order to... Most people need to have good credit in order to purchase things for their home. Or just purchase a home in general.
Yep.
So that's why we had him on. And he's just a cool dude.
Yeah.
Love talking to him. But, like, I don't even remember how the conversation devolved into fanny packs.
I don't either.
But it was a good one. And it's up as a clip on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
And is one of our better viewed videos.
Yeah.
But so like an episode, our number one episode. So this one actually trumps your episode on
home organization.
Home organization.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put all the numbers together from like YouTube, podcasts, all that kind of stuff, our number one episode of all time was the Nova P50.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
Far and above.
Wow. Okay.
And most of those numbers are from YouTube.
Yeah.
It did really well on YouTube for some reason.
Interesting.
On a couple different times. Like the episode ended up getting posted twice somehow.
Oh, okay.
And
probably user error.
Probably. Like we still don't know how to use YouTube.
No. I wish we did.
But we got really good numbers on that one.
Yeah.
And some hate mail.
We did. Yeah.
But that's fine. Super cool flashlight. Still love it.
Yeah, and we were supposed to get some other stuff from them. We never did.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't either.
They're kind of a weird organization over there. But they make cool stuff.
Yeah.
What is the name of it? I forget where I bought that
Nova.
thing from. Well, Nova's like the flashlight.
Yeah.
Lone Survivalist.
Oh yeah.
That's what. If you go to Lone Survivalist, so like they actually just did like a 4th of July promo where you got like the flashlight and like these submersible matches, like waterproof matches, and like a Zippo lighter and just all kinds of stuff. And it was like you got the flashlight and then all this extra stuff. And it was like $100.
What?
Yeah.
The flashlight itself's that much.
Yeah, for a while they were selling just the flashlight for like $150.
Right.
But yeah, they had this package deal. It was a 4th of July promo.
Interesting.
So and that's, I mean, like they just do cool promos like that. But like that's really only if like you're into like outdoors, survivalist kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, that's what that flashlight is. It's a survivalist flashlight.
Yeah. And it's, I mean,
but like it's a really good flashlight.
And you may be listening, but why was it that much? Well, it does more than shine light.
Oh yeah,
you know.
You'd have to go back and listen to the episode. I forget what episode that was. But yeah. So I mean, like it does a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So and then there's another one. That was the one that they called us and they said, "Hey, can we send you this one?" We're like, "Yeah, why not?" They just never sent it to us.
Right.
But it was. It's the Nova, and it's just a longer flashlight because it has a concealed knife inside of it. And just never got to play with that one.
Right.
If you guys want to send it, I'd be happy to take a look at it.
Come on, bring it.
We'll make another video.
Yep, we absolutely will.
So,
I like there are so many things I could go on and on.
I want to keep going just because I don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt. We're not talking about like your episode.
Right.
You're right. There's so many good episodes that we've done over the years. It's impossible to list all of them.
Yeah, and one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to like ask what was your least favorite, but I don't want to do that. I don't think that's a good smart idea.
That's the first one.
first one was really bad, y'all.
The first one's my least favorite.
Well, because we were like
idiots.
No, well, you were like, let's do it tonight. Yeah. And we're back. Yeah. Let's do it tonight, and we just did. I mean, like, so, but honestly, like, I think this is true with homeownership. It's true with life. It's true with a lot of things. Like, sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Rip the Band-Aid off. Do it. Even if it's like, installing an above-ground pool. You don't want to. Just do it. So, which we need to do an episode about that.
We got to do an episode on
that. I just did that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to. And I'm glad I did. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, you get in finally?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's in. It's good. It's done. So, it's all just do it, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to do it, call somebody else. Yeah. Get it done.
Or watch a YouTube video.
I guarantee there's a YouTube video out there.
For sure.
So, what are we missing, man?
That's it, man. Well, on to 201.
On to 201 because 200 is now done.
That's right. It's in the books.
That's right.
We made it.
And we're looking toward 300 at this point. I mean, honestly, like, it's one of those deals where, 100 episodes, like that's a lot because it's basically 2 years of content.
Yeah.
That's basically what that amounts to because we do 1 week. And so...
Well, and, like, one of the things like, you and I have been talking, and we're talking about doing some new stuff.
That's right.
Some stuff. I think we've talked. One of the things that I'm confident that's going to be happening really, really soon is we're going to be adding a trivia show.
Yeah.
With our guests, which should be a lot of fun.
That'll be so much fun.
And so we'll do that anytime we have a guest. We're talking about putting out extra episodes.
Yeah.
During the week, so we can maybe put out, instead of just doing one, we'll probably do like two.
Yeah.
And see if you guys like that.
Right.
Maybe you guys want to hear more from us.
Sure.
Throughout the week. We're happy to put out as much as we need to. We've been having conversations with other podcasting talent about about joining forces.
Right.
Maybe not coming underneath the Homeowners Show banner, but bringing
just
on some
aligning a little bit.
Yeah. Creating some strategic alliances.
Right.
In the podcasting world. So we've been having some of those conversations. Yeah. And so there's some cool stuff coming down the pipeline for the Homeowners Show in particular. I mean, the trivia show alone, I think is just going to be...
It'll be fun.
A lot of fun.
It's just fun. That's why we want to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and honestly, again, going back to the comment about how many episodes did you think we could get through, there's so many things we haven't done.
Yeah.
There's so many services out there that we have not had on the show. Yeah. And it's not always because of a lack of trying. Sometimes it's just these guys are hard to get on the show. But
that's true. There are some people that are just difficult to get a hold of.
Yeah, and they're busy. They've got stuff going on, but
it's weird, when there's, the people that you want to talk to are hard to get a hold of, but the people you don't want to talk to are like, can I come on?
Exactly. Yep. But, if you've got an episode that you want to listen to and we haven't done,
let us know.
I
mean, we will fight for that episode.
Yeah, we absolutely will. So just let us know. And, but anyway, so yeah, we've got a lot. We got a lot planned and a lot more that's probably going to come. So we're not looking to slow down anytime soon. So thank you guys for sticking with us and subscribing. And if you haven't already, it's been 200 episodes. Come on now, subscribe, click the like button. And I'll tell you what, for our 200th birthday, what we would like you to do, go on to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating or just a review and a rating.
That'd be good.
Let us know what you think about the show and tell your friends about us. Thanks for being here. Until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.